Ah, Sean, what a great breadth of talent we're having here today. And now we're going to Godfrey Coppinger. So I met Godfrey properly this time round in cyberspace, but I also met her in Fanuiga, which Sean mentioned last year. So I'm getting increasingly fonder of Godfrey as we go along. And we've shared children's stories, and we've both realized that we're children dressed up as adults. But Godfrey is even younger than me because she's only 5 years old, dressed up as an old woman. That's what it says here on my piece of paper. Um, she's a lifelong doodler, scribbler, and storyteller. We saw one of her beautiful books this morning. She loves to sing songs, make music, and dance. And she looks funny when she dances, but she doesn't care. And she says things like that. So to bring people along and let them know they can dance too. She's originally from California, but now lives in Listowel with a leprechaun, a fancy dog, and a retired pirate. She tells stories regularly at the Kerry County Library and works with Fighting Words, a creative writing program that helps students of all ages develop their writing skills and explore their love of writing. She regularly walks the streets of Listowel searching for new adventures and new friends, and she found one this weekend in me. Godfrey, what are you bringing us next?
Well, first, I want to say that it's lovely to follow a poem written by Sean McCarthy, because when I lived here from 1985 to 1990, he was my friend. And he wrote the McCarthy's Women in the Kerrymen, and I was one of them. He wrote all about me. So I'm looking at my list and trying to decide what I want to tell. I could tell a serious story, but I'm not a serious person. Earlier today, I told a story about my grandma. So I have to tell one about my grandpa. Now, I grew up in California in the Pentecostal church. The Pentecostals, they're also called Holy Rollers, because when they start worshiping, they really get down. My grandpa, though, he wasn't much of a religious man, but every once in a while, my mama and my grandma would get him to go to a meeting with a traveling preacher. And those preachers, they start preaching hellfire and brimstone, and every once in a while, Grandpa would get religion. But it never lasted very long. Well, Grandma and Grandpa had Gates Grocery, a little grocery store about 10 miles out of my hometown of Madera. And we got a lot of interesting people through there. And one time, Grandpa went to one of the meetings and he got religion. And it really looked like it was gonna stick this time. He started saying a Bible scripture for every sale that he made in that little country store. Like a little girl would come in and she would say, Mr. Gates, I want to buy myself some candy. I got a nickel. And Grandpa said, I got a jar of penny candy right here. You reach on in and you get yourself 5 pieces. Why don't go ahead and get yourself 6 pieces of candy? And so she handed over her nickel and went away with her candy. And Grandpa put that nickel into the cash register and he looked up in the heavens and he said, suffer the little children to come unto me. He was really getting to know his Bible, but we knew it couldn't last. Then Thelma Peabody come in and she said, Mr. Gates, I want to buy myself, buy something for my daddy for his birthday. What you got that I could get him? And Grandpa said, well, we got some fine socks here. We got some Argyle socks, and I think your daddy would like those a lot. So she bought it. She bought 2 pairs of socks and she went away. Grandpa put the money in the cash register And he looked up into the heavens and he said, honor thy father and thy mother. Well, me and Kenny and Kathy, we hung out at the store a lot when Mama was working there. And we kept watching Grandpa. Because we knew that it couldn't last. One day we was sitting there and me and Kathy was playing jacks on the floor of the store. I don't know what Kenny was doing. It was probably something he shouldn't have been. But we heard a screech of tires outside. And we looked out and there was this Cadillac car, a bright red Cadillac car with a big horse trailer on the end of it. And out of the car, there come this cowboy, but not like the cowboys we saw around there. It was like a Hollywood cowboy, a movie star type. And he had the big 10-gallon hat, little red neckerchief to match the car around his neck, and them tight blue jean pants, and them roach killer cowboy boots, you know, the one where if you get a roach up in the corner with them pointed boots, roach ain't got a chance. Well, he came on in and he said, Mister, I need to buy myself a horse blanket. I got myself an award-winning horse out there, and I don't happen to have a horse blanket with me. So Grandpa said, okay, I got some back here. I'll go back and I'll get one. And he went and he had a big pile of horse blankets, and he pulled one out and he brought it up. There you go, $9.95. Oh, that cowboy just about had a hissy fit. He said, that's an expensive horse out there. I'm not giving him no $10 horse blanket. If you got a good one, go back and get it. If not, I'll go down the road to the Dixieland store. Well, we knew Grandpa didn't have but one stack of horse blankets out there. But he looked over at us and kind of went, and he went back and he pulled another one, just a different color, off of the stack. And he said, this here one is $100. And that cowboy said, no, you do not understand. That horse cost $100,000. And I ain't putting no cheap horse blanket on him. Now, if you got a really good one, I'll buy it. If not, I'm heading out. But we looked at Grandpa. Grandpa looked at us and winked. And he went back to that same stack of horse blankets and he pulled another one out. And he come back and he said, I only got one really good one. Now, this here one is going to cost you $500. If you don't want it, you can go. But cowboy said, no, mister, I can't be spending all day looking for a horse blanket, so this one will have to do. So he took his horse blanket, gave Grandpa $500, went back and screeched off in a cloud of dust. Well, we wondered what kind of a scripture Grandpa was going to say for this one. He looked over at us. He put the money in the cash register. He looked up in the heavens, looked down at the money in the cash register, and he said, he was a stranger, and I took him in.
Oh, mighty.
Thank you.
Godfrey, thank you so much. Really enjoyed that one.